Let me pipe up real quick. You keep reopening your wounds, trying to convince people that they hurt you. You keep laying out your pain like proof, hoping this time they'll see it. This time they'll care. This time they'll say sorry and mean it. But listen, you can't heal in the same room that made you bleed. You can't grow in the same soil that tried to choke your roots. And you can't explain your soul to people who only ever wanted access and not understanding. Sometimes your peace begins with one hard truth. They knew. They knew what they did. They knew how it would land. And they just didn't care enough to stop. And no amount of, let me tell you how that made me feel, will make a heart soft that's already decided you are disposable. You think you're being the bigger person. You think you're bringing closure. But what you're really doing is handing your healing to people who never deserved to hold it in the first place. So stop waiting for apologies from people that God had to rip away from you. Some bridges don't need mending. Some need burning. And not every conversation is a doorway to peace. Some are just reruns of the same disrespect dressed up like a new episode. There's a difference between forgiveness and foolishness. Forgiveness says, I'm free. Foolishness says, let me prove it to you one more time. You can't explain spiritual damage to people who only see life through ego. They don't feel conviction. They only feel inconvenience. They don't ask how they can change. They ask why you're making it such a big deal. God doesn't call you to stay loyal to dysfunction. He doesn't want your healing chained to someone else's comfort. And he sure didn't put you on this earth just to keep explaining who hurt you to the very ones who threw the stone. Some folks ain't gonna get it. And that has to be okay with you. You ain't gonna get the apology, the closure, the justice. What can you get? Peace. Not because they gave it to you, but because you stopped granting them access to steal it. And that's what healing is. It's quiet, it's private, it's you in your room telling yourself that I'm not crazy, I wasn't asking too much, I was asking the wrong person. The most disrespectful thing you can do to your future is keep dragging it back to a past that mistreated you. Stop doing CPR on relationships that killed your spirit. Let that version of you die. Let the silence speak louder than explanation ever could. And the real ones, you don't gotta perform for them. You don't gotta over-explain. They feel you before you even say it. The fake ones, you could bleed truth right in front of them, and they'd still say you're being dramatic. Because to them, your hurt is an inconvenience, not a wake-up call. You were never talking to ears. You were talking to ego. You were talking to pride, to people who wear misunderstanding like an armor, so they never have to look at themselves. And here's the hardest part. You still want to be understood, even after all they put you through. That's not weakness. That's humanity. But your healing is not a group project. And it's not waiting for their permission. God saw the tears that they never did. He counted the nights they caused but never stayed up for. And he's not asking you to make your pain palatable for people who never even tasted it. You don't need them to admit they did you dirty. You don't need them to confess it was their fault. You need to look in the mirror and say, I'm not wanting to be validated by the very people who broke me. Sometimes healing looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like brand new boundaries. And sometimes it looks like you not explaining anything at all. That's not petty. It's protection. So close the tab. Mute the chat. Block the door. Say less. Heal loud in silence. This hit your chest. If you've been spending energy trying to explain what they already knew, drop a comment. Let me know you're walking away this time. Say, I'm walking away. Hit that like button. Share it with someone who keeps going back to what broke them. And if you're building your peace from the ground up, subscribe. We're all healing over here. We're doing the real work. You don't owe them another word. You owe you a new start. Pipe up.